Emma Carter had always believed that the truth, no matter how faint, always left a trace. But on a cold November morning, as she stood outside Courtroom for B, she began to doubt that. Her file felt heavier than usual, not because of the papers inside, but because of the silence surrounding the case. She whispered to herself, "People don't vanish emotionally. Something always breaks first." Inside the courtroom, the air smelled of old wood, paper, and tension. The case, The People vs. Daniel Reeves. The charge, severe domestic abuse resulting in the disappearance of his wife, Claire Reeves. No body, no confession, only a single desperate clue. A complaint form Claire had attempted to file but never submitted. Blank, except for one trembling line, "He will hurt me again."
The judge's gavel echoed like a cruel memory. Emma stepped forward as the prosecutor. Across the room, Daniel Reeves sat perfectly still, too still. His face calm, handsome, almost bored. Only his eyes betrayed him, cold, sharp, waiting. The judge nodded. "Miss Carter, proceed." Emma opened the file, feeling Claire's fear in every page. "Your Honor," she began, "this is not a case built on dramatic evidence. It is built on patterns, bruises, silence, and a woman who tried to speak before she disappeared." She told the court about Claire, a quiet, intelligent woman who once taught piano to children, who slowly withdrew from her friends, who always wore long sleeves, even in summer, who stopped smiling in photos, who flinched when her husband walked into a room. At first, the jury listened politely, then they listened closely. A neighbor, Mrs. Langford, took the stand first. Her voice trembled. "I heard things," she said. "What kind of things?" Emma asked gently. "Crying, arguing, a thud, and then silence. Always silence." Daniel's lawyer objected. "Speculation," but the judge allowed it. Another witness, Claire's CO worker. "She came to work one day with her wrist swollen. She said she fell, but her hands were shaking. She looked like someone who didn't sleep." Then the store cashier. "She used to buy makeup to cover bruises. When I asked if she was okay, she said I'm fine, but her eyes were begging for help." Piece by piece, a portrait formed not of a murdered woman, but of a frightened soul fading day by day. When the defense attorney rose, he smiled like someone sure of victory. "No body, no blood, no crime scene. My client's wife simply left. People leave. Marriages fall apart. There is no proof he did anything." He paced slowly. "This entire case is built on feelings, on assumptions, on neighbors who thought they heard something, on co-workers who felt worried." Then he delivered his final blow, and the so-called complaint, it wasn't even submitted. "It proves nothing." Daniel Reeves smirked. For the first time, Emma felt a flash of anger, but beneath it determination. The turning point. Emma called her final witness, Officer James Holloway, a quiet man, careful with words. He approached the stand with the worn fatigue of someone who has seen too much. "Officer Holloway," Emma said, "tell the court what happened on the night Claire Reeves disappeared." The officer took a breath. "We received a noise complaint. When we arrived, she opened the door. Her lip was bleeding. She kept saying she was fine, but behind her, he stood watching." "Did she ask for help?" "Not with words," Holloway said, "but her eyes, they were screaming." The courtroom fell silent. He pulled out a small evidence bag. Inside, a nearly torn piece of lined paper. "This was found in the trash." Her handwriting, Emma read it aloud, her voice steady despite the trembling inside her. "If something happens to me, it won't be an accident." The jury shifted. Daniel's smirk disappeared. Emma's final statement. She turned to the jury, her voice quiet but unbreakably strong. "Sometimes victims don't leave bodies behind. Sometimes all they leave is fear. A pattern of cries no one heard. A complaint they were too scared to file. A warning they hoped anyone would discover." She looked at Daniel Reeves, and Claire Reeves left a warning. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. When they returned, the courtroom felt frozen in time. The foreman stood. "We find the defendant guilty." Gasps. Daniel erupted, shouting, cursing, trying to stand until officers forced him down. Emma closed her eyes, but she didn't smile. Justice wasn't victory, it was relief, a quiet, painful relief. As she gathered her files, she whispered, "Claire, your silence wasn't in vain." And for the first